Welcome back to Tales of Japan. I'm Shades, and today I actually want to talk to you about my experience in the hot springs. So, if you don't know about Japan, they just love to just get they get the kid off, they get naked. And, coming from Australia, not really used to that as much. So, when you go to these public bathhouses, or when you go to have a shower in a hotel, they're all in one room and they're not barriered off. And so usually when you go to have a shower in general, they'll have little stools that you sit on, which I already found was really weird because whose butt's been on that? You sit down, you wash all your bits, which, I don't know, it kind of seemed kind of thorough in a way, like you could get all your stuff done. And then they'd have kind of like a hot spring in some of them. Like, some of them had hot springs and some of them had these, I'm trying to remember what they were. It was kind of like a sort of salt bath thing where like it helped open up the pores in your skin. And that was one of the ones I went to, actually. One of those experiences where we were in the Super Hotel in Akihabara, and again, you'd think to yourself, fuck yeah, I want to hear that shit up. Here's the thing. They don't actually have mixed, but it's you shower with other dudes, and if you're a woman, you shower with other women. So yeah, I wasn't really prepared for it when I first went in. It's kind of a little bit daunting the very first time I went, and I'm going to work up to the hot spring, don't worry. The first time I went into the bath part, because the bath part is actually a big part of the hot spring, because they want you to bathe before you actually hop in to the hot spring. It's about being clean when you hop in. But I found that a lot of people stare at your junk. I mean, they don't stare at each other's junk, but they stare at your junk if you're not from the junk, the junk on which this origin resides. I don't know if that makes any fucking sense. And at first it was kind of daunting, but yeah, you just kind of get your kid out, and you wash everything, and then you hop into the bath, the hot spring they got. The one I did in the Super Hotel was okay. It was a little bit too hot for my liking. And then there was one I did at the ski resort. And there is a whole nother tale of that. But basically, I almost died in a ski resort due to an allergic reaction. And I shouldn't have tried the hot spring the next day because it brought out the reaction. I almost vomited in the hot spring. So, we're in the snowy mountains, and I decided, like, Butter Queen was like, you should go have the hot spring, like, there's like an hour left before they close it. And I was like, cool, I'll hit it up, So I head down, and there was one other guy in there, and the whole place, it's so misty in there, it's so clouded. So I go in there, I sit down, I'm washing my bits, I'm washing all my bits. It's kind of daunting because it's one other dude, and it's just like, he's a young bloke, Japanese bloke, he's just sitting in there. You're washing your bits and everything. And I was like, I don't know if he's going to leave. And so then he got out to wash himself and get back in. And that's what they do. They like to, like, move the temperatures and kind of like cleanse the sweat and then go back in, I guess. Japan, they know what they're doing. So anyway, I hop in to the hot spring. And I'm sitting there and I'm just like, I just spread my legs, like, I'm just like, well, I'm in, and a few minutes goes by, and I lock eyes with the other guy down the other end, because you're looking, and you're like, like, and I lock eyes with the other, and I was like, and then I kissed him. No, I didn't, stop, and he was like, hey, I was like, hey. And he was like, how are you? And he leant over to shake my hand. We're naked. We're naked in the bath. He's going to shake my hand. So I was like, okay. Hi, how's it going? He goes, my name is Jorge. I'm on holiday. I currently live. It was like a small country town I think he was from. I was like, oh, cool. My name's Ross. I do YouTube. He's like, YouTube? Whoa, man. Like, he's thinking celebrity status. I'm like, no. And we just talked, and then he was like, I don't know if he was flirting with me, but he was like, you drunk? I was like, no, this is just me in general. He's like, okay. and he's asking me about my holiday and how long. And apparently they get really freaked out when you say you've been there for like a month or something. And they're like, "Whoa, that's a big holiday." So we chill out for a fair bit. I find all this information about this dude. He's like a photographer and that and whatever. And then right at the end, he was just like, "Well, I'm gonna head off now." And he goes shake my hand again. I was like, "Okay." And it was kind of like a really surreal experience because I just met a complete stranger in Japan that has not only a language barrier, not completely. We saw each other's junk and we touched. No, we shook hands. And so I'm kind of sitting there. It's kind of surreal. But I kind of feel like I conquered like a thing on my checklist that I didn't think was there. So I head back to the hotel room we're in. And Butterqueen's like, "How did it go?" And I was like, "So I met a guy." She's like, "What?" His name was Jorge. He's really nice. Yeah. So that was that. But no, if there is a male and female experience of hot springs, I did not find them. It is not a traditional thing to mix the sexes. I think it would be very awkward, and I can understand why they do it like that. As for the full-on hot springs with the rocks and stuff, I couldn't, with the bamboo fences, I couldn't handle the heat. It was too much for me. This one in the bathhouse, in the bath area, was nice for me. It was just good enough to kind of breathe it in. The temperature was a little bit too high for me, and I'm a guy that's like, I'm a walking furnace. So I hope you enjoyed that little story. I didn't think I was ever... You know what? when it happened, I was like, that's gonna be a story that I have to tell everybody. I'm kind of glad I told everyone now because it's been on my brain. I'm like, I fucking have to tell. It's so fucking funny, the delivery of the whole story, especially like, I met a fucking guy in bathtub. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Tales of Japan. Let me know what you think in the comment box below. We've got some more tales coming along soon. And until next time, I'm Shades. Good night.